Love it. Okay. Are we going to record?
Hey,
Oh,
that's very low. The low music.
I didn't hear it. I missed my cue. Do it again. It's because I lowered everyone's headset too.
Well, up in mic because I'm old. I can barely hear.
Do that again.
No, that's actually the ones we should keep.
I mean, like, in serio.
That's a blooper.
We need to keep the bloopers with her.
All right. What up, people? We are back for episode 2 of Team A Unfiltered, where the mic is always
on.
and the filters are always
Off.
All right. Yeah. All right. So we are kicking off episode 2, bringing back the energy from last time, maybe a little bit more energetic because we're getting the hang of these things, right? All right. So today we're going to be discussing our New Year's resolutions and goals for 2026. You know, it is January. And so new year, new me. Psych. I don't know if that's really going to happen, but I'll go ahead and kick it off. This is Jeanette on the mic today. And my New Year's resolution, I think, it centers around my grandpa. So what my friends know is I lost my grandpa in December. And anytime my grandpa would see us cook and taste our food or come over to my house, you know, and eat, he'd be like, well, now you're ready to get married because you can cook. So when I think about my grandpa, I love to cook, by the way. It's my stress reliever. And so I'm really choosing to focus on my mental and physical health this year. And thinking about my kids too. We all know like all the things that are in food, you know, the preservatives and just everything that's in it. So I'm really focusing on being healthy and just really trying a new recipe from scratch. So far, I've been good about doing it once a week. Last week, I did homemade flour tortillas. That's not new to me. I have done it before. However, I did it from scratch with the baking powder and the salt and everything. And I did it 2 ways. One, estaban hechas de mano, so that, you know, I made them by hand.
English, please.
And then the second time, I did it with my KitchenAid mixer.
Spanish, please.
I did it with my KitchenAid mixer. I will say I think the ones in my KitchenAid mixer came out better, but my husband liked the ones that I made by hand. I just think he's used to manual labor. I ain't doing all that. So that's my goal. And so with that being said, I'm going to pass it on to Lisa.
Hey everyone, it's Lisa. I don't like to cook. True story, I own an Instapot and sold it to Jeanette
And I use it all the
because I
time.
never used it. But I will say 2025, I have cooked more than I ever have. That was part of my deal of getting my husband giving into getting us another house was that I had to cook. And I've been holding up to that end of the deal.
Girl, go ahead.
I know, right? Okay. So I was going to have a New Year's resolution. Well, Jeanette suggested cooking more, but I don't want to. I don't want to learn how to cook better, and I have the usual Taco Tuesday every Tuesday, except I switched it up last week. Anyways, so I kind of have a goal, and my number one goal for this year is to hit a jackpot.
Love it.
I'm really shooting for that.
At the lottery?
At the
Let's
casino.
go tonight.
Yeah, I'm really shooting for that. That'd be great if I could hit a jackpot. Another goal is to learn Spanish. I know Jeanette can probably teach me, but she hasn't offered.
Duolingo.
Stage 2 right now.
Okay.
Lesson 2.
Well,
Good
I
for
said
you.
get on that because that is a goal of mine is to learn Spanish.
Then why are you asking me about English?
Well, because that was a hard one. I didn't know what you said.
Mano.
Oh, that's hand. See, you need to say it slower.
Estaban hechas de mano.
Okay, Eche.
Yeah.
Oh, that's all I heard.
That's what she heard. She said, well,
Sorry, Lisa. Learn Spanish.
I don't really know that what I'm leaving behind in 2025. I will say that I think it was a pretty good year for me. There
We're not
are a
there yet.
couple of
she wants to be super
You're on the
student.
last page. She's being Francis.
Right.
yeah, I obviously didn't pay attention.
We'll
Okay,
cut that
next, Francis. We'll cut that out. But
Okay. Are y'all able to hear me?
yeah.
Perfect. 2026 has started off a little bit rocky. I've lost a couple of fellow students in South Grand Prairie and a couple of family members. So it is, of course, making you realize that you do have to make time for people you care about, make the effort. So for 2026, I am trying to bring in a better me than what I was last year. And that just doesn't mean working out and going to the gym. It's just following through with your words. If you say you're going to do this, do it. If you say do your actions, follow through with, I guess, just about anything. It's always, of course, good to move forward and try and revamp and focus on your goals. So that's also something I'm going to look forward to in 2026. Other than that, there's nothing really else. Now Sophie's about to come on.
Get up all on my mic.
Yes.
Hey, it's Sophie. I really don't have a New Year's resolution. I think I've kind of got over the New Year's resolution saying a few years back when I realized I can never hit it. I would always say, like, this is going to be my New Year's resolution, and it only lasts like a month or two. So I'm kind of over the New Year's resolution saying, per se. However, in 2026, I did say I wasn't going to be such a germaphobe, but sitting by friends, sneezing and coughing over here, I'm all of
No
a sudden
coffee. No coffee.
thinking I'm going to get sick. But in 2026, I think more so my goals are going to be more present in the moment. Hopefully surrounding myself with you ladies with this podcast. I'm hoping that we can see each other more in face, even if that's over FaceTime or what is it, WhatsApp or Zoom? Yeah. And just, I think, more so focus on my finances and just getting better with a little smarter with them. Other than that, I think I would say those are my goals for this year, and also getting closer to God. I've really got blinded maybe towards some of the beliefs that I once had, and I think I'm ready to get back on the right track. So that's where I am for 2026 goals.
Good job, sir.
Oh, and now to Christy.
Thanks. Okay, this is Christy, and as far as the New Year's resolution, I do not believe in those. I think it's just more of a background how I was raised. We never really did those. And probably like Sophie, if I did try to say I was going to do something, I didn't even get a month in. I'd be lucky if I got a day in, but but never really happened.
Love the honesty.
Never really stuck. So last year, well, it's technically December of 24, but all last year, it's been, I would say, one of my lowest points of my life. I got laid off in December 24, still unemployed. Had to make some financial changes, and I think that's kind of one of my goals. How to maneuver some stuff around and get what I needed to at least to get me by to where I can find a job. So one of my goals is hopefully that I will be able to get a job here soon. But if not, God has me, so it's okay. And the support of my mother, she's always been my rock, and she's always been there, so that's always a good thing. And that's pretty much it.
Shout out to mothers, for reals.
Yes. All right, I'll go ahead and pass it over to Nate.
Okay, hey, this is Nate. So my resolution this year is kind of something that you said as well. I want to make it to church more on Sundays. My family and I have kind of gotten away, I think, the last few months of going into church, although we do stream a lot from our living room. And then now, that the Dallas Cowboys aren't playing on Sundays anymore. I want to make sure that, I think, going to church on Sundays is always something that I want to work on this year, along with just healthier habits, just overall trying to be a little bit healthier this year as we're now in our 40s, plural. I think it's important to make sure that you're maintaining your health. So that's it. And also I definitely want to do a trip this year to somewhere I've never been. So I always try to go somewhere every year. And I think this year I want to definitely take my kids also somewhere that we haven't been, maybe
I
outside
was
the
sorry to
US.
interrupt. I was going to say maybe you can go to Spain with
With
Lisa and her
anniversary.
anniversary, but you said you're going to take your children, so that's out.
I was
Uh,
gonna say, where haven't you been? I feel like you've been everywhere, right?
But my kids haven't really been outside of the US too much, and we got their passports a few years ago, and I think they've only used them 1 or 2 times, so they're probably coming up for expiration. And I definitely want to travel outside the US somewhere, Europe, England, I don't know. Anyway, we've kind of been talking about it, but that's one of my goals this year is to take them. They've never like somewhere that they can learn something from. So
Yeah. That sounds cool.
yeah. And now I'm going to pass it on to Joe.
Yay. She remembered. Hey guys, it's Joe. That's really beautiful that a lot of us have like a need to find Christ and Jesus in our life. And I feel like life gets in the way sometimes. And 2025 was hard for our family because our home church had a scandal with our lead pastor, and it left a lot of people hurt, frustrated, confused, upset. We were Eric and I went to a marriage Bible class, and we we didn't go. Like, and it's not really because of the pastor, because we both told ourselves that we would not go to church because of man. We go to church and follow a man. We go to church because, of God. But we are still looking for a home church, because the church you know, that had this scandal happen, like they're still trying to find their lead pastor, right? So, and it's kind of like going through its waves of trying to find that, who's going to lead them. So, 2026, I really want to find like a good church, a founding church that Eric and myself and the kids can find home. So, that's one of our goals. And then also, like, I was just talking to Eric last night that I really want to read the Bible. Like, I know like all the verses and
Oh my
stuff,
gosh, yes.
but I really want to read it and understand the stories
Yeah.
and talk about it, because I think that's really important to do. So I think that is something that he wants to do too. So we want to do that together. And then another thing, like, this year, Eric and I are going to be officially empty nesters. So, just trying to find more room in how we, connect and talk. And that is going to be through Jesus Christ and the Bible. So,
Amen.
so those two things are like really big on us. Also, you know, I think like travel is important. I just came back from Amarillo and talked to Dorian and Hayden, my son and his wife. And we really want to get the kids together more and create experiences together. So like, Nay was saying that she wants to, travel with her kids and stuff. Like, we want to create the experiences with our grandkids and stuff, and like go skiing. Like, they've never been skiing before. None of them have ever been skiing before. So just how to, connect and create those experiences better. So that is, part of our goals. But yeah.
I have a question.
Mhm.
Because both of you, Nay and Jolyn, both said about going to church, because I'm pretty positive you guys have been pretty standard with it, like just not standard, but what word am I looking for? Consistent. And you mentioned online streaming with church, right? So Marcos and I
Yeah.
used to online stream, but Marcos's online streaming is like cooking or cleaning or folding clothes while he's watching the service. And this last time we missed our very first Sunday of January. And I was like, nope, nothing. You're sitting down here and you're going to actually watch and listen. So what do y'all feel about the online streaming versus going? Does it really matter?
Go ahead.
Multitasking.
So to answer that, like kind of going to what Jolyn said, my church also went through a scandal a
Okay.
year and a half ago. And it was crazy because when we moved from like North Dallas, we used to go to Watermark, which is a great church, but it took a long time to find a church that we felt like home. And we visited a lot of different ones. And then we finally found this church, and then we went there, for a year or 2 years maybe, and we loved it. And then it went through a scandal, the same thing. And it kind of felt like, okay, I finally found something I really enjoy. And then now, like, and a hard part of that was having to explain to my kids too, like what was going on in the church. But since that happened, we've actually kind of started bouncing around. We've tried different churches, and I have friends that have invited us to our church, at their church, and then we've been looking at different. So the streaming became even more helpful because we really haven't found our home church, a new one, like, kind of like what Jolynn said. So we've been streaming different churches, and we started this by, like, our church would stream. So when we couldn't make it, we do sometimes go still watch theirs, but they had a guest pastor, and I was like, I really like this guy's church, but he's based in Oklahoma. And so we've been streaming his, but sometimes a message just isn't there. And so we've actually started streaming different churches. And if we feel like, oh, okay, this church, like, I like it, or this sermon's not really connecting me today, or like I see my kids trying to get their phone out and they're not paying attention, we might bounce to the other ones. So the streaming has become really helpful in the days when we have sports or something and we're just like, okay, we really, we haven't had a day off or something, we want to be at home, we can stream, but also to see other different churches, because most of them do stream now.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, I enjoy it because until I find that home church and I can actually go in person and find something that I enjoy. But in between that, sometimes my home church or this other church, that message may be reaching me different than other ones. And I do like that about the streaming because, like, I don't honestly believe that you always have to be in a place of worship to worship.
Okay.
And
that's what I was
but sometimes you do need that. Sometimes I go into church, like I mentioned a while back, like I went on Christmas Eve, which is around my grandfather's birthday, and he had passed away, and I hadn't been to church in a couple, because it was right after the scandal, so I hadn't actually physically been there in like 3 months. And that message hit me so hard that I was like, they played a video about a grandpa who had gotten forgotten by his family. Really, like, he was there, but I don't know. And I was like, oh my God, today's my grandfather's birthday. It's Christmas, and I haven't been here in 3 months. Like, and he was very religious. My grandfather was really religious in the Catholic religion. And that message, just like, I felt like he was talking to me. I felt like God was talking to me. And so I felt like streaming is a way that you could still get that message without always, when it's convenient for you. And in today's society, sometimes, it's not convenient to drive 30 minutes to a church that you connect with, but you may get more out of that Sunday stream than you would, going
actually being there.
Yeah. Or missing, not going at all.
I feel like it just depends on the person. Streaming, to me, is a little lazy.
Mhm.
And I feel I don't get what I want if I'm not there in person. Like, I have to be there in person for me. Because to me, like, I will get distracted on streaming and doing something else. Like, oh, I need to do this and that. Like, I'm not giving my full attention. I'm being lazy in myself, not getting up and going out to that church. And that's just me. But there's people that are good at streaming and, they pay attention. I'm not that type of person. I have got to be.
Yeah, I think I'm struggling because I know I'm being lazy. Like, I know it's because I don't have anything else to do. I don't have kids, obviously, as I said in a last episode. So there's really nothing for me to do but sleep. Like, I could literally just turn it on and then I listen and then I can go back. And that's not what I should be doing. I know that.
Yeah.
But, however, tomorrow is going to be really cold. So I may be on my couch, but I may be streaming and not doing anything else and getting distracted.
Good luck.
I can say that.
I will say, Nay, I love how you said, how you guys have bounced to different churches. So one of the things that happened to me in 2024, it was just, all of us have been to the Catholic Church, right?
Yeah.
And I think one of the things that hit me is one of my best friends, not you guys, obviously, but my best friend.
Ooh, you're getting the
Get her, DB. Get her.
All of y'all have met her. So she asked me to be the godmother of her son. I was like, yeah, absolutely. Went to the class and everything, right? But so Adam and I are not married to the Catholic Church, but we are married because of the Catholic Church's ideals, or, we could not, or I could not be his godmother.
Oh my god.
I
Oh
could not be
yeah,
his
they're
godmother.
We're going through that
So
too.
strict.
where it hit me was, and she knows, and she knows about the podcast, and she's ready to listen. And I told her, I said, like, it really hurt me that, as soon as you asked me because you found out I couldn't do it, it was like, oh, well, Chago's going to be the godfather. But it was never really told to me, like, hey, because, you can't be the godmother because you're not married to the church. The other person is not married, but has his sacraments. I guess I'm coming from the perspective of I am a mom. My background is education. And I'm not saying that I'm a better candidate. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I am saying is that I am.
You are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's just get to it.
But to get to the point, like,
Don't lie.
you're
Don't
going
lie.
to tell me because I'm not married to the
No,
church
yeah.
that this person is a
Yeah.
better candidate, right? And again, it's nothing against him because he is one of our best friends too. And, he's great with our kids. However, you can't tell me that this is the belief. And so because of that, I have pulled away from the church and I am looking to go to other churches. So my sister has invited me to hers. And so that is one of the things that I'm going to look into is, as far as for our family, because it's hard with a 4-year-old, one, to take him to church because that boy is crazy.
Girl, that's why they got them kid camps.
Yeah.
And the streaming.
When
Yeah.
you say looking, when you say looking, does that mean branching out to another religion?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
That's fair.
Yeah. Because I just can't, that's how much it has impacted me that I just can't find myself going back to the Catholic Church.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair, definitely.
And I grew up Catholic. I would say we probably all did.
Yeah.
But I
Minus me.
listen.
I'm like, no, I was Baptist.
I listen so much
So
more
much.
at a different church. Like Catholic church, I know what's happening next. I don't even pay attention. Like,
It's hard to get the message.
if
Yeah.
there's a message, I miss it every
Yeah,
time.
I agree. And there's nothing against it, right? That there's people
Yeah.
who understand it and
No,
people
like-
who know the these and thous and
Yeah, my family still goes all the time.
Like,
Like
all
every
of-
Sunday they're there.
or maybe they don't know, but they're just going based off of what they grew up. But
But Barry, my husband,
it's-
also is not
Yeah.
Catholic, and
Yeah.
he won't go. So I had to find another church. And this one, I feel like my kids and I, we actually listen and hear the
Understand.
message that they're saying.
Yeah.
So I could do without all the singing.
By the way, my husband always tells me to time it to get there 15 minutes. Like,
but then you don't get the good
like,
seat.
yeah, that's true. But
That-
he's like, I can't do 30 minutes of singing. Like,
I
get
can
there,
do it.
Like,
Okay,
the last two songs.
I want longer
Like,
worship.
yeah.
try
I like
being
the worship.
like a couple, just us, Marcos and I. We always get stuck in the front row because there's only two of us. Literally every time. I love it. I'm okay.
and sit in the back.
I think they'll still sit us in the front because there's 2 seats left open
Maybe
somewhere.
They feel like you're holy enough to be up there.
Or maybe they really feel I need to be really, really close.
Even more potato.
This right here, she needs the message.
And the spotlight.
Worshiping is fun. Lisa.
But I think that
I love
kind
the
of is our
worship.
segue
Oh,
into
yeah.
like that next segment of what are you leaving in 2025 and, what am I, bringing into 2026? Because I think one of the things that I'm leaving, and I think I'm okay if I leave it, is the Catholic religion and, welcoming something else that because I feel like when you go to church, you want to be able to believe and accept
Right.
the message. I want there to be a message and I want to feel the message. And so I'm hoping and I'm hopeful that I will in 2026 when I, this year, when I branch out and take the kids, because I feel like I had Josiah during COVID. And so
I forgot you have a COVID baby.
I had a COVID baby. So church wasn't open. And then it was like, oh, well, I'm not going to take him around the germs because he was a baby. And so he's never been to church other than like at a quinceañera mass. And there we were chasing him. So it's like, we've got to figure that out. So that's what I'm, leaving in 2025 and hoping again, when I think about the word that I am for 2026 is hopeful that I will find something. And so I'm going to pass it to Lisa so she can share hers.
What I'm leaving behind?
What are you leaving behind, and what do you bringing into 2026?
I think 2025 has probably been one of my best years. 2023 was horrible. 2024 got better. 2025, I think, has been the best that I've had. I mean, we did have a couple of health issues in the family, but that's one thing I'm hoping to leave behind in 2026. I'm sorry, yeah, to leave behind. What I'm welcoming in 2026 is winnings, just winnings in life and winnings at the casino.
No, you don't like the praise, but you like the ding, 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 ding. Winner.
I do. That's pretty much it. Franz, what's yours?
Well, man, I really love how we all are trying to get closer to God and trying to figure out spiritual movements because that is really important to take. And also to show our children and grandchildren a right upbringing, no doubt. What I'm leaving behind in 2025 is worry and doubt because we all do believe in God. And if you continue to worry, you have little faith. And I do understand that. So I definitely want to leave the worrying behind. What I want to gain in 2026 is acceptance that time does not wait for you and being okay with the next chapter of my life. Like I said, I have a senior. Being able to accept that. That's nobody prepares you for that.
No.
Nobody really does. But that's about it. About to pass it to Sophie.
So goodness, I was like thinking all kinds of bad things in my head. So things that I wanted to let go. And I mean that in the sense of like just my mindset on just being, I guess it's not really toxic, but when I say like know I can get up to do this. I know I can get up to go to church. Why am I sitting here laying here? I know I can get up to go and hang out with whoever one of you guys or whatever instead of being like, "Oh, I really don't want to do this." I just need to change my mindset on how life is too short, and like I said, one of my goals is being in the moment. So I definitely need to get my mind right. I think I've had so many years of, I guess it just boils back down to my faith. So many years of not being in the right mindset with my faith. So that's what I want to leave behind as the toxic thoughts and bring a better year into faith so that my mindset's better. And I think that's it for me, Chris.
I would say probably about the same with, same with Sophie and Francis, as like I mentioned earlier, last year was like one of the worst, one of my lows. It's hard to keep the faith when you're looking at things, applying left and right, not, just to get a next email saying, hey, or go through interviews to find out, hey, sorry, we already filled the position. Why interview? But again, it's just,
Process.
the process that they go through, and sometimes it could be a good thing, right? You can still go through the interview if something else does open.
I was
I
gonna say,
try
you
to
never
think
know.
about I try to
Else may
think
come open.
I try to think of the
Change your
upside.
mindset.
So, but that doesn't come until about a week later after that, because at the moment it's kind of discouraging, right?
Oh,
So
yeah.
I think kind of what Sophie and Francis were saying is last year, that's what it was. It was always the worrying, kind of losing faith, going back into what everybody's
Discouraging,
trying. It gets discouraging at a point, and then you just want to like stop. Like it's like, what's the point? And so go, leaning more into my faith, and I know they always say, pray to God, and I feel like I pray all the time and nothing still happens. So sometimes you still lose faith per se, I guess.
You're human.
Yeah. So I think, for 2025, I want to leave that mindset, in the past, and then just lean more into, like you guys were saying, is faith, and everything happens for a reason. I'm always, saying that, but then when actually something like this happens, it's kind of like, kind of eating my own words, I guess. So, but hopefully that will get better this year. So we'll go ahead and pass it over to Nate.
Okay, so what I'm leaving in 2025, I'm going to go real talk right here. I had a hysterectomy in late 2024, and from some friends that have gone through it before, said, I'd kind of get a little bit emotional afterward. And I think that lingered a lot more last year. I feel like I really lost sight of myself last year. And I kind of did it alone. I really didn't tell anyone how I was feeling because I don't know. I just didn't. And so this year, I feel like I just really started praying very hard last year and trying to change my mindset and trying to change what I was thinking and where I wanted to go at the end of last year because I think I finally realized that I was kind of in a funk. And so what I'm welcoming in 2026 is that I got an amazing opportunity for a new job, which I had
Woohoo!
been trying really hard to find something that made, I don't know, I like, it changed my mindset. Maybe it changed the way that I valued myself because, I don't think that we talk about it enough. And this is probably going to be an episode at some point, women's health, especially as you're getting older. And so I don't know, I kept a lot of it in. So now just moving into a new year, new mindset, a new job, I feel like I'm welcoming just a lot of great things in 2026 and, not being so hard on myself, I guess you could say.
I think that'll be a whole new episode in itself on why you don't know you're not reaching out, how you're getting in this funk, how can you not get out? Like,
Yeah.
Yes.
real talk, Janae.
Yes.
Yeah.
So with that, I'm going to pass it to Joe.
Well, for 2025, I think I want to leave behind doom scrolling. Have y'all heard the term doom scroll?
No,
I
I
learned
have.
it from my Emma, 17-year-old. She's like, I'm just doom scroll. Like, it's just you and you're on the reels, like Instagram reels, like over and over. Or TikTok reels. If you have TikTok, I don't have TikTok, but thank God.
Don't do it.
I'm not.
Yeah,
I heard it's
don't.
addicting.
It
So
is.
I want to leave that behind. I do that a lot, which is why y'all get fed a lot of reels from me. I do it with my sisters and like I just doom scroll. I want to leave that behind because I think I can invest more time in my goals, like, read the Bible and stuff. So what I want to gain in 2026, is experiences, like positive experiences, whether it's like, the trips to family or, my experience with my girlfriends and stuff. So that's what I want to gain.
All right, doom scrolling. That was new for me. Thanks for sharing. I was today years old. I learned that, right?
I don't get on TikTok very much, but TikTok teaches you. Like,
Oh,
you can learn
The
so
recipes.
much.
Recipes is
She
what
doesn't cook no recipes.
Jeanette knows what I'm talking
Yeah.
I do.
She
Bringing
said,
us back
don't do that before
together.
she drank.
That's our episode for today. What I do want to say is, thanks to my girls for being open and honest today. And I hope, if anything, if this is your first time listening to us, you're kind of getting a feel for us and really understanding that this is a safe space. Again, we've been friends since forever. And with that being said, it's not always easy to make friends. And so we're blessed that we still have each other. And if you're joining us, we hope that you can, sense that. And I'm going to put Nay on the spot here because I know that was something she wanted to add to that. What do we want them to know, Nay?
You're not alone.
Well, this is real talk. So, I know there are a lot of, well, for one thing, it's hard to make friends as you get older, adults, friend circles, or sometimes you just lose track of the really good friends that you had when you were younger. So, this is a safe place if you're out there and you don't have a friend group or you're trying to find your feet, your friends or whatever. Just know that, you can always join our friend group. That's what the purpose of this
Yes.
podcast is that so you can listen to 7 different voices talking about what we're going through. And maybe it can be relatable to you. If not, maybe it's comforting or, anything. We just hope you enjoy joining in on these podcasts so
And
that
definitely entertaining. We'll bring the laugh for sure.
Well, guys, we need to address the fact that Lisa doesn't like new friends. She's just kidding.
Even though she gave me the stink eye a minute ago.
That's
So with
DB.
that being
That's
said, thank you
DB.
guys so much for listening. So once again, this is Team A Unfiltered, where the mic is always and the filters are always
off.
All right, so no filter, real talk, no bold voices. This is Team A signing off.
Yes. Oh, yes. Let's do another one.